Well, hello everyone. My name is Jose, and I'm the owner at Camp Bow Wow Katy, Camp Bow Wow Cypress, and Camp Bow Wow Kima, which are located in the state of Texas. And we are a premier overnight boarding and daycare facility for dogs. And I'm really excited today because we have a very special guest with us today. And that's my friend, actually a business partner through our Business Network International networking group. And that's Dr. Paul Fidelis. He's a veterinarian, owner of Kindred Care Pet Hospital. It's located on 7039 FM and 1464 Road in Richmond, Texas. And their phone number is 281-265-0009. Now, Dr. Fidelis, we asked you to join our YouTube channel mainly because you're an expert in an area that's really near and dear to our hearts because we get asked this question a lot. And basically, it's about upper respiratory infections in dogs, commonly known as canine cough. But before we get into that topic at hand, because that's going to be our topic at hand today, before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about how did you get interested in veterinary medicine and what type of animals do you see at your practice?
Oh, thank you, Jose. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. You know, I love you all at Camp Bow Wow. I think you guys do an awesome job. So,
thank you.
It's always great to be, have a partner that you can trust when you refer your clients to. So, and that's what you guys are. I'm so happy to be here.
That means a lot. Thank you.
So, my going into veterinary medicine, I'm going to try to make it very short. I wanted to be a doctor as a kid, and I loved animals. I grew up with dogs. My dad was in the military, and so we had German Shepherds. My father always believed there are only two dogs in the world, German Shepherds and the rest. However,
nice.
Something I called him and I found that he had a Lassa Apso, and I was like, what happened? But pretty much, yeah. I did that and thought I was going to go into human medicine. I got into the anatomy class and I did a little bit of comparative medicine and I loved it. And that's where I decided to stay. And I will say I pretty much excelled in that. And so that's why I'm here today.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you were able kind of to do the little best of both worlds. Although you wanted medicine, you're doing medicine for the animals that you love. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this. In the doggy boarding and daycare world that I live in, a topic of discussion that comes up often is upper respiratory infections in dogs, and which is commonly known as canine cough. Can you tell us a little bit about the type of cases that you see at your facility and how do you treat them?
So coughing in dogs is something that we see. And pretty much when I see a coughing dog, I quickly try to determine if it's going to be a complicated case or a non-complicated case. If it's going to be one that is caused by infectious agents, or one that is not caused by infectious agents, because you can have that too. But the commonly seen one, I guess that's where you're going to, will be kennel cough, or pretty much canine infectious respiratory disease. And what we see and what the owners pretty much say is that, oh, my dog, may have been exposed to other dogs, may have been at the park, may have been at a boarding facility or something like that. And after about 2 to about 10 days, starts to cough and hack as if there's something in his throat. And at times it may be productive, something may come up or something may not come up. But pretty much that's what it is. That's what pretty much we see. Like I said, we pretty much do some tests and determine how we're going to go with that.
So the typical course of treatment would be on something, let's say a simple case. What would be the typical course of treatment for something like that?
The truth is that most of such cases are self-limiting. In other words, they can go away on their own in about a week, pretty much. But the point is, most of us veterinarians do not want to take that chance because some pets have a weakened immune system, and that can progressively become something more serious because other organisms come into play, and then we have pneumonia. Usually, we just use some cough medicine, some antitussive, and that may help it. But most of the time, we add some antibiotics to it, and
And that's
just
about
allow it
it.
to go.
Understood. So on the same topic, like how can a dog, first of all, how can a dog get an upper respiratory infection, and how does it spread, like from one dog to another? How does that happen?
So typically, the organisms live in the nasopharynx, right? In the nose, the respiratory system. A dog sneezes, the droplets become aerosolized, and another dog in the neighborhood around, especially if they're in a crowded place like a shelter, in the dog park, in the grooming area, at times in a boarding facility, can easily pick that up. That is one way. The other way will be through fomites. And fomites will be things like, dog bowls, toys. In fact, we, you see that happening a lot with people when, say, they go to a shelter and they're petting this dog and then pet that dog and, get in contact with the secretions and excretions. And then that can be a mode of transfer.
I never thought of that because, when you think about it, we all love dogs. So the first time, whenever we see a dog, we'll pet him, we'll play around with him, and then maybe I'll come home and touch my dog, and is that a possibility? I may have infected my dog now
Very,
that way.
very possible.
Gotcha.
Very possible. That's
Gotcha.
very, very possible.
Now here's a question I get asked a lot. At our camps, and I would think most boarding facilities, they require a vaccination called Bordetella. And so the question is, okay, so my dog got the Bordetella infection or vaccination. How did he still get a canine upper respiratory infection? How did that happen?
So first and foremost, like we all know, nothing is 100%. That, I think COVID has even allowed us to know that right now. The flu virus, I'm going to give you a typical example. People take the flu virus and they always come down with can still come down with the flu. Mm-hmm. But the pet is better protected. The chances of it being a mild upper respiratory infection is better if they get their vaccines. So yes, that is the first thing. Secondly, Bordetella, kennel cough, for example, is the complex disease. So there's a bacteria in play, at least pretty much that's the Bordetella bronchiseptica, which is related to the Bordetella pertussis that you find in humans that causes whooping cough.
And that's the one they get vaccinated for, right?
Yes.
Typically? Okay, got you.
That's the Bordetella. But most of the time, Bordetella also is in combination with the parainfluenza virus or the canine adenovirus type 2. Those are the common ones. And so it makes it a little bit much more challenging. And that is why that happens, pretty much. If we don't allow, if we allow it tarry, like I said, then other organisms can come into play, pseudomonas and things like mycoplasma, and then it becomes a problem.
Gotcha. So vaccination is always still very, very important, despite the fact that they can still get infections of other sorts.
The best medicine, and I will always preach this, is preventive medicine.
Prevention.
No doubt about it. It gives the pet a fighting chance, and so the disease may not be as serious as it should be. It's usually worse in pets that are not vaccinated.
That is such a great point. So, one final question. In our world, we often see parents, and I absolutely understand this because, we all love our dogs. We love our pets. And, we worry for them. We don't want them to get ill. We don't want that to happen. But, of course, it can happen. This is life. So what would you say to parents, in terms of balancing, the fact that I'm really concerned about my dog getting any kind of illnesses versus giving the dog a good quality of life, like maybe, coming to daycare and boarding, things like that. What would you say to parents on balancing that?
Pretty much I'm going to answer this as a follow-up to the second answer I gave. The best medicine is preventive medicine, no doubt about it. So first and foremost, make sure you get all the necessary vaccines.
Yes.
And so that gives your pet a fighting chance. Secondly, you can't isolate your pet from other pets from being socialized. They need that. They need the exercise. They need that joy to be around other pets too.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't stop your kids from going to daycare or nursery school because you think they're going to pick up infections from school. We know that that's what happens every time. But at the same time, the school recommends that you get, kids are vaccinated. They ask for some such things. We noticed that a lot of parents got a little concerned with this pandemic where people were isolated, and we saw what isolation did to people. Pretty much, dogs, yes, they don't talk, but they feel it. They enjoy coming over to your place. They live better. So get pets vaccinated, and facilities like yours, because I've been there, but you guys do a great job of keeping the place clean. So I strongly recommend that they go over to your place.
Yeah, it's such a great point. I never even thought about the fact that, we're experiencing right now with COVID, and some of the, being locked up kind of things. That's such a great point. Great point. I really do appreciate this. This is all so good. I mean, it really is. And we've kind of run out of time here, but I hope maybe I can invite you again for another topic or continue this one at some time in the future, because I have an incredible amount of respect for your opinions, and we try to follow a lot of, we so much guidance from you. So we really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
With all pleasure. I'll be back on as soon as I can. Like I said, I enjoy the relationship we have, and my clients are happy. So whatever makes you guys happy and makes my client happy, makes my pets healthy, I'm all for it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you wish to connect with Dr. Fidelis, you can look him up on Facebook on his page, which is Kindred Care Pet Hospital. Kindred Care Pet Hospital. Look him up. Or you can call his office again, 281-265-0009. Once again, 281-265-0009. And as I always like to end it to my audience, remember one thing. If you never forget anything, remember this. Be the person your dog thinks you are. Again, Dr. Fidelis, thank you so much. And thank you to our audience for logging on. We'd like to request to everybody to please join our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, like this page, and certainly subscribe to it so that the next time Dr. Fidelis is on, you can see him on our channel. Thanks again, Dr. Fidelis.
Thank you, Jose. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.